Well, it's been 12 months since I bought my T120. In the last 6 months, on the 6-month review, I said, you know, this is just about the almost perfect motorcycle. Now that I've had an additional 6 months and some more experiences with it, do I still think the T120 is almost perfect? Well, stick around and we'll find out. In this video, I'm going to cover 3 areas: pros, cons, and accessories that I've added to the bike over the last year. One of the biggest pros on this bike is the brakes. These dual Brembos are outstanding. However, they are hooked up to Pirelli's stock tire from the factory, and they're awful. They'll get you by, but I tell you, I wouldn't push it in the corners. A lot of people that own these bikes say that this is the first thing they're going to get rid of and switch over. You know, and another con that bothers me is that you can get tubeless wheels nowadays with spokes in them. These really need to be, or what I'd really like to have is tubeless tires on my bike, but I can't get them because these are spoked wheels. But you can buy spoked wheels that have tubeless capability. I think it's not really a pro or a con, it's just something I'd like to see changed. Another con for this bike is the light. The light is pretty weak at night. A lot of people change these out. They go to LEDs or another light, and I can't blame them. I'd have to say this is a con for the bike. Now, you see the windshield I've got here. This is a Madstad windshield. I've had it on about 6 months now. I've got a video that shows how to put it on. This, if you like to go touring or you like to have the bike that doesn't have so much wind pressure on you when you're riding it, or you're plagued with noise, this windshield is awesome. It isn't expensive. It's easy to put on. It's even got a quick disconnect feature. You can take it off in just a couple of seconds. So if you've got a T120 and you're tired of all that wind buffeting and all that, I would invest in one of these. This is a good upgrade. Let's talk about the cockpit for a minute. One of the things I really like about the bike is the dual clocks. Those are really nice. Also, it's got a key that's up at the top. You don't have to fumble under your seat trying to put the key in. That's good. I put a Quadlock phone mount for my phone. I really like that. It was easy to do. And I've got a video that shows how to put that on. Now these mirrors, a lot of people complain about the mirrors on the bike. And they go to bar end mirrors. And they say, you know, the mirrors they're ugly and they're too low. Well, it's easy to fix. I don't happen to like bar end mirrors because I can't see past my shoulders. I've never gotten used to how to use those. So what I do, and I'm going to zoom in here and let's show you this. What I have done is I have made an extension tube. Now you have to buy a new bolt that goes in from the bottom that's a little longer, but I've raised these mirrors up 2 inches and man, they work perfect. You can see past your shoulders just fine, and these are easy to make. 3/8 piece of aluminum or steel tubing, a little bit of work out in the shop, and you've got your set of mirror risers. Harley sells those for their bikes. You just go down to the shop and buy one, but Triumph doesn't. And speaking of another thing that Triumph doesn't do, self-canceling turn signals. I went into the Triumph shop and I said, hey, I need to buy the module for the self-canceling turn signals. I want to put them on my bike. And they laughed. They looked at me like I had horns growing out of my head. Triumph doesn't make self-canceling turn signal modules for that bike. But you know, other Triumph models have the self-canceling turn signals. Why wouldn't Triumph offer the module that after you bought your bike and you recovered from the payments and everything, you can go in and put a plug and play module for self-canceling turn signals? What's so hard about that? So that's a con. I do want to say the cruise control, amen, that's excellent. Very good. And the information button that clicks through the settings, that works good. Horn is a little weak. I'd really like to have a louder horn, but it's equivalent to anything else you're going to buy of any other motorcycle. I'm glad to report that I finally have gotten 48 miles to the gallon. I guess the bike just needed to break in. It only had like 2,300 miles on it when I first got it. And so I am getting a consistent 48 miles a gallon, but I am running premium gasoline in it. The modes work pretty good. All I got is rain and road, but that's good. I got used to the start button, and that works good. Then that brings me to a major con. I live in an area that's got a lot of humidity, and you should change your brake fluid about every 2 years. Well, this bike has ABS brakes. You can't change the brake fluid on your own because you have to have a computer at the Triumph shop to run the ABS pump, so it'll pump the old brake fluid out and put the new brake fluid in. Another issue that seems very common among these bikes is the vague throttle. This is a ride-by-wire throttle, and when you twist it, it's not like the old cable throttles where you had some fine adjustment. I was riding along with a group, and if you're trying to match speeds with a group and you have to make just minute adjustments of the throttle, it doesn't see it. And you cannot really adjust your speed. Now, if you're just whacking the throttle open and going, well, that's a different ball game. But if you're trying to do fine parking lot maneuvers or try to stay at a certain speed to match the people you're riding with, you're going to have a challenge with this throttle. This I think is a really big con. Newer riders, they're not going to notice it, but us older guys that had cable throttles, this is something we're going to notice. And that brings me to one of my pet peeves about this bike. Triumph has clearly designed this bike with the idea that only a person, a Triumph tech in a Triumph shop who has a lift and can work on the tool, can work on it for you. The idea of owner serviceability, forget it. A perfect example of lack of owner serviceability is trying to adjust the chain. You can see that these pipes are very close to the chain adjusters. In fact, they are so close you cannot get a wrench down in there to turn them. I was a mechanical engineer for many years, and I can tell you that design is on purpose. Someone had to purposely sit down and figure out, okay, how can we take something as simple as chain adjustment out of the hands of the owners? And that's exactly what they did. You cannot adjust this chain unless you take these mufflers off, and you can't get those mufflers off unless you have a lift, because there is a bolt under the left-hand side muffler that you would have to crawl around on the ground and try to get up into it. And at my age, there's no doing that. I had to go over and borrow Billy's lift just a simple adjust the chain. And that is infuriating. I'm really upset about it. When I bought this bike, it had canvas saddlebags and a canvas top roll. That just didn't work for me, even though that's the hot setup for T120. Everybody wants those. I carry camera equipment around with me all the time, and I need something that I can lock. Well, I looked at Amazon and I tried 3 times. I bought 2 boxes and had to send them back because they were just too big, too heavy, until I hit upon this box right here, the GIVI top box. This is compact, but yet it's big inside. You can put a lot in this. It locks. Not only does it lock, you can take it off the bike, and it acts like a suitcase if you're traveling with the bike. It's easy to install. It doesn't weigh a lot, just a few pounds. It's a smaller size. It fits real well, integrates real well with the dimensions and aesthetics of the bike. I am very happy with it. I'll put a link to Amazon for this box down below. So after owning the Triumph T120 for a year, can I say that it is a perfect motorcycle? No, it's almost perfect, but there's some pretty major cons to it that keep it from attaining that ethereal status of the perfect motorcycle. Well, Tom, if it's not a perfect motorcycle, what is it? It's the perfect motorcycle for anybody who wants a push-button motorcycle. Go out in the garage, turn the key on, push the button, get on it and ride. And leave the maintenance to the Triumph shop. Mike from the Mighty Garage channel coined that term, push-button motorcycle, because guys of our age, we've always dealt with kickstart and bikes you worked on. Well, if you want a bike that you do not work on, you just get on it and ride it, this is a perfect motorcycle for you. If you want a bike that you can bleed the brakes and check the tires and adjust the chain and have a much more deeper interrelationship with the machine, it's still a good bike. It's not perfect in that manner, okay? But you know, as I get older, I'm getting to the point where I'm really not that interested in wrenching on my bike that I ride on a daily basis. I just want to get on it, push the button, and ride it. So is it a perfect motorcycle for me? Well, right now, I'd have to say it's pretty close. And I know a lot of folks who have these bikes and commented on the channel and have said, wow, you know, they love the bike. It's perfect for them. Well, awesome. Would I like to see some changes from Triumph? Yes, I would like to see Triumph come up with an upgraded Bonneville. Call it the Bonneville Premier. Tubeless tires, a way to service the chain where the mufflers aren't in the way. Or better yet, replace the chain with a belt. Better tires. How about some Michelins? Or some really good road holding tires for those guys that want to be sporty. A good set of luggage that you can lock. And various other small things like self-canceling turn signals. Fix those small cons and you've got the perfect motorcycle. Well, that's about all from me today. And so regardless of what you're riding, ride safe and we'll see you down the road.